Hey everyone, hello, hi. This is Deadbeat Son, episode 26, coming at you. My name is your host, Trey Lamb, and the date is January 10th, 2023, baby. How you doing? Feeling all right? Are you sticking to your resolutions? You been hitting the gym like you said you would? Did you quit vaping like you said you would? It ain't that easy, man. Did you, are you, I hope you're sticking to it, did I talk about, I think I already told you mine. My resolution my real one is to, man, I gotta take myself more seriously as a comedian. I know that sounds ridiculous. I know it's silly and it's blah, 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 but I'm entering a new, I gotta when you're trying to pursue something that is not a regular corporate or, job, when you're working for yourself, it's all on you, right? So like every time any success I have, I'm like, hey, go me. And the rest of the time, I'm like, dude, I suck. I got to do more. That's pretty much every day is either feeling like, hey, I'm doing all right. And then the other 7% of the time is like, God, I'm not doing anything. I think you need a little bit of that. You need a balance of that, right? But yeah, I gotta. Sometimes you just gotta believe that you're that guy or that bitch. Swore too soon. But it's been a good year so far. It's been a great year. So a good 10 days of the year so far. I had a fun weekend too. I worked with, I was filming for a comedian who was performing, and I'm not going to name them because I'm about to say some kind of unsavory things. So, but you could probably figure it out if you know, really anything about me. You could figure it out pretty easily who I'm talking about. But I was filming for this individual. And filming for an individual, and who has some allegations, against them, or at least one really big allegation, and it's not so much of an allegation, I guess, as it is that this person low-key admitted to committing pretty heinous crime on a podcast and didn't realize that he had done that. But a lot of people saw it. So I'm filming for this guy because I have zero integrity. And this individual was up there talking about, they did something regarding consent and intimate acts, okay? And the thing they did was an intimate act with not a whole lot of consent, right? And I'm filming for this person, and I am watching their show, watching their act, their hour, and they made points about how men need to be better at consent and men need to be treating women better. And it's just so interesting that people do this all the time, preaching to an audience about how we should or should not behave in a certain way while they're doing the exact thing that they're condemning, right? It's so interesting to me that they do that. And it wasn't just this person who did that. They're they're up there and they're you know, you can, men need to make consent more of a big, hey man, what? Yeah. So let's start with you, you know? A lot of people do this. A lot of people will, like, notable people, famous people will do a certain thing. They will condemn an action, or they will make a point about something, and in a sort of condescending way, while they're doing that exact thing, So with this guy was talking about how you need to have consent, which you do, obviously. But then meanwhile, there's like a video of him admitting that he did something without consent. There's a better example. A better example of this was a pretty egregious one. Was Chris D'Elia, man? Like when I don't think I've named. Whatever, doesn't matter. He did an episode of his podcast where he was like, it was right after the Epstein stuff came out a few years ago, where he was saying, like, he did a whole rant on his podcast about, he was like, you guys think that there's like pedophiles in Hollywood and that people are having these weird culty sex parties, and he was like very condescending in his podcast towards the listener. Like, you guys, there's really people out there who think that this stuff is going on, that like famous people are, attracted or are hooking up with underage people, or that there's this weird thing going on in Hollywood. And lo and behold, he was doing it, man. He was doing it. And a lot of them do. They say that there's a theory. If you get into conspiracies, there's a pretty good theory about this. That that there's like something about, like, let's see how much we can talk about this. Let's see how, let's just like put it out there, and maybe it'll like throw the scent off your trail, or like it's virtue signaling. They'll condemn an action that they're actively doing, right? That would be like if I were, if I came on here and I was like, you guys, there's really people out there who think the earth is flat? Are you kidding me? Do you really think that we live on a planet that is just a flat plane, that it's not a globe, and it's not, and then, it'd be a lot like that. So I'm trying to, figure out I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to get canceled for, honestly. People ask me that, and I'll ask others, like, what do you think it's going to be for me? And I've heard a number of them have said it's going to be something to do with women, which I'm not crazy about. I mean, I am about women, yeah, sure, but like, why? Because I'm fucking adorable? Like, what? Why? You got these people who have ruined their own careers by doing things like that, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard to do the things to avoid these situations, right? And it's not about not getting caught. It's about just not doing the thing. It's very easy to not DM underage people. That's pretty easy. You just don't. Right? Like, it's very easy to find out if somebody wants to be intimate with you. It's very easy. You could ask them. You could ask them. You could, Like, dude, I'll still ask I'll be on a date. I'll still ask a woman if I can, kiss her at the end. And I get that makes me look like a pussy. Okay? Oh well. I'd rather look like a pussy than have a case against me. Right? I don't think that's a hard decision. Would you rather I mean, it's like, dude, do you want to you got to be you just got to be aware. Not just careful. Like cuz careful implies that you're like kind of that you are trying to not get caught about something. But it's like, it's just it's more of just a respect thing. And look, there's probably been a handful of women that heard me say, "Can I kiss you?" And they're like, "Ugh, what?" And "Ew, no," right? And okay, fine, okay, all right, that's cool. I've had that. I've had not that you, but like they've said no. And I go, all right, and then it's not that hard, is what I'm trying to say. So I had a lot of fun with this individual this weekend, and I also learned that I don't. The threshold to be a successful comedian, like, is not that. It's not that hard. Because you just see people you see these people with careers. This is the most encouraging and discouraging thing at the same time with trying to pursue comedy, is like, it's encouraging when you see people with careers, like full on, big name, doing the thing, touring the country, all that stuff, and then you see their act and you're like, are you kidding me? What? Like, this is what you... Oh, dear Lord. It's discouraging, obviously, because you go, what? How does this person... Oh, my goodness. But I see it as just as encouraging to be like, well, if that's all it took, if that's all you got to do, good to go, baby. I'll be fine. I'll be good to go. And that's... I feel that... I mean, all the time. Now, granted, there are some times you'll see a comedian and you're like, oh, dear Lord, oh my God, I can't do, like, oh, I can't do that, right? Like, when I saw Theo Von for the first time live, I was like, oh, this is just like, he's just doing something that I don't even know how to do that, Or like, you've seen those old Martin Lawrence, like a clip of Martin Lawrence at I think it was the Apollo Theater or something like that, where he points out a woman's hairstyle, and she's got a lot of hair that's like up, and he just like riffed a little line, and he goes, look at all that hair. There's a bald horse in Central Park somewhere, and these fucking audience members lost their goddamn minds, dude. They were standing up, they were falling over each other, they were like screaming. I mean, and he's just like staying in the pocket, just acting it out, just like doing the cold horse impression, where it's like, bro, I've never even thought, I can't even, I don't have a lot of impressions, but he just whipped out this, and he tore the room in half, and you see that and you go, oh, I can't do that. How the hell do you do that, right? And then, but just as much, you'll see people, not just as much, way more, you will see people who are like, are you kidding me? Like, this is it? This is what I can do that. Which is like how most people get into comedy, right? You go to an open mic, or you go to a show and you see the local guy do a spot and they're just not that good, and you go, oh, I can do that. Every guy has that thought for sure. I could do that. Like, because I have the theory that every guy thinks he's funny. Like, if you get down to it, man, no guy is ever gonna be like, me, nah, couldn't tell a joke to save my life, man. I got no idea what I'm talking about. No one's gonna say that. No one's even gonna be, even more humble about it. Like, nah, I'm just not that funny. Never. They all think they can. If it came down to it, if it really came down to it, I could be funny, sure, whatever. I've noticed that women, not necessarily the same way. They're not as ego driven. They're not as ego driven. They don't need, for the most part, I've noticed, it doesn't seem like they feel like they have to prove this thing to nobody, which is a good quality to have. It's a better way to be, is to just be like, just to enjoy something or experience it and be like, okay, that is what that was. But man, a lot of them, we'll see it and we'll be like, I could do that. Probably better than him too. I could probably do it better than him. And I mean, dude, when I'm on the road, when I'm meeting people, there's always some, dude who's been drinking and he was telling me about, how he wants to try stand up. I got about everyone's got a half hour. People never do stand up in their entire life, and they'll be like, yeah, I got about a half hour of jokes I could probably do. Are you what? Out of your fucking mind, dude? Like, and it's great when they do it. Sometimes they'll go as far as to try it out. That's a great thing to see. But yeah, so I noticed that like women don't necessarily as often have that like just something to prove, that ego that's like, not to say that women don't think they're funny, because there are plenty of women who think they're funny. I see it in the in in the dating apps. A lot of women will put in their bios, or they'll write stuff like, I'm funny, I'm the funniest person I know. They'll say dating me is like dating a comedian. Oh, really? So you're obsessed with yourself and you create false trauma? Because that's what it's like to date me. Dating me is like dating a comedian. Oh, so you're a liar and probably going to do some pretty horrific things at some point if you get enough success. So like there's not as many, like, because for men it's across the board. I feel like I'll generalize. Fuck it. Across the board, no guy's ever gonna admit that he's not funny. Women, not all of them are like that, but the ones who are like that, the ones who do emphasize and pride themselves on how funny they are, oh boy, they're far more annoying. And I don't know. I don't know what I think my issue with it is not that I don't think they're funny, but it's the I think part of me is like hey man, I worked really hard on this to be kind of funny, I'm not, look man, I did this because I'm not tall. At the end of the day, I'm doing comedy because I'm not that tall. If I were like 6'2", you'd never hear from me. You would never hear from me. I'd be too busy doing tall guy shit, But if you, man, when you just have to work on other parts of your personality to make yourself, valuable, and I feel like for, so then when like I see like attractive women, when I see women being like, I'm funny, it's like, well, what else do you want to take from me then? Oh, great. Yeah. So some of them are, pretty egotistical, and they'll be like, "You're a comedian. I'm pretty funny too." Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. A similar thing happens with working out. We're all back in the gym. We're all doing our thing. We're all getting healthy this year. Um, but I've noticed that women will do this thing. I've worked out. Like if I bring my girlfriend to the gym, I've done this. I brought a woman I was dating to the gym, and working out with her, and she'll say something. They'll say something like a version of this, like, "Well, I don't want to work out too hard because I don't want to get like jacked. You know, I don't want to get like I don't want to be like huge." I'm like, what? What? Yeah. Don't worry. You won't. You know, you doing a bench press. You don't. What do you think? You turn into the Rock all of a sudden? Like they have this. In my experience, these women, they've had this absolutely unfounded idea that like, oh, you do a couple push-ups and now you're. It's like, man, look, Hey, man, give us a little credit, would you? I've been working out, for what, like, I mean, the last, like, regularly for the last, like, 8-10 years, something like that. And not jacked. Like, what? And not even close to it. We'll go to the gym and then, I have her do a deadlift, and then all of a sudden she's just fucking, yeah, look at me. Look at me. Like, what do you think is going to happen? What the hell do you think is going to happen? It takes years of like discipline and training and steroid use to get to that level, It doesn't just happen like that. But it is funny. People think they don't realize how long things take. Things take a while, man, to get good, Fall in love with the process, man, And I don't know, to be afraid of being jacked is very funny to me. So if there's any women out there who are worried that they're gonna get too jacked while working out, don't worry. It's not that fast. It takes a little while. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I'd love for you to write in. Actually, yeah, go ahead, write in what you think I'd be canceled for. Cause yes, people told me it's gonna be something to do with women, which I don't know. I'm not not doing anything shady, so I'm not worried about that. What I am worried a little bit about, what I put the only thing I could see, is like, maybe like an upset ex-girlfriend sort of deal who doesn't like that we broke up. Like I'll tell you what, I was talking to my mom, and she was telling me this is after my last girlfriend and I broke up, and my mom was telling me, she was like, hey, make sure that you're not bringing a lot of people over to your place. And I go, why? And she goes, well, you never know, like, in case certain someone might drive by your house and just notice that there's new cars parked out front. I'm like, I go, no, Mom, she wouldn't do anything. She wouldn't do that. She's not like that. My mom's like, well, I did it. I'm like, what? And then I told my buddy about that, and he was like, oh, dude, my mom did shit like that all the time. She would drive, my mom would drive to my stepdad's work to see if he was actually at work. I'm like, yo, they got time for that? Like, oh, I'm not upset that like that could be that could happen. Because I got nothing to hide, baby. I'm an open book, That's why I don't mind saying silly things and that like are apparently controversial sometimes, because I know that I'm a chill dude and I got like no reason to. I sound like, oh dude, this sounds just like that Dalia rant, but it's true. Like I haven't done anything that's I'm like, oh, I hope they don't find out. But now I'm chilling. I'm a little busy to be floundering around with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess they're gonna be doing stuff like that. So for the boys out there, man, keep your wits about you. Don't piss them off too much, or else they'll drive by your house. A drive-by? Are you kidding me? I don't know. I want to know what it's like for you guys. Like, what is the way to handle a breakup? Is it like, do you keep in contact? Do you just cut them off right away? Everyone's got their own thing. There's like a few of my exes that I'm like cool with, that I don't know if I'd call us friends, but like we're cool. They're not mad at me for anything, They're supportive and stuff like that, which is cool. And they're doing their own thing. They're doing their lives. So, all right. We have another write-in. This is a second time submission here. A second time write-in, which we love to see, from Jarina. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please let me know. Please let me know. Oh, she goes by Jinx. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm pronouncing that right at least. Okay, it says, "Hey Trey, hiya Jinx. It's your favorite South African fan here." That's so tight, dude. That is so tight, dude. Do you know Elon Musk? Apologies for the delay in writing to you. Don't worry about it. I'm always behind with my YouTube subs, so my response will be a few days, weeks later. Just watched episode 21 about the rich kids, which... All right, pause. Yes, sir?
What's up, bitch?
Hey, I'm doing the pod. All right, just watched episode 21 about the rich kids. At school, I've always felt uncomfortable around rich kids. Heard that. Like I was awkward and tripping over my words. They probably didn't notice, but I certainly felt out of place. Growing older, I find that I haven't changed. I feel socially handicapped when I'm around rich folks, and I can't get away soon enough. Keep up your brilliant self. Thank you, Jinx. Very kind. And then, and thus far, my favorite comedians have always been British. Dylan Moran, Bill Bailey. I don't know any of these people. P.S. Nice guys are massively underrated. Stay nice. Oh, thank you, Jinx. That's fine. Very kind of you. Nice guys, man. They're cool until they're not. And if a guy ever calls himself a nice guy, get the fuck out of Dodge. Women don't like me because I'm a nice guy. They want an ass. Shut up. Get over yourself, dude. Come on. But like, you gotta be nice. You still have to be nice, but you don't have to. You don't have to be a nice guy. TM. Yeah, rich kids, man. You're not gonna. You know what helped me get over that? Because I've felt that. Because it's like, oh, you put this value on them. You put like this. You kind of associate a person's financial situation with, even if it's a child, you'd be like, oh, they're doing something that I'm not doing. It's not that. It's not the case. So many rich kids, every rich kid just has rich parents, right? And what helped me get over that feeling of like feeling less than, the rich kids, was meeting them. You start to meet them, you start to get to know these rich kids, and you go, this guy's a fucking idiot, or you're just full of yourself and have no work ethic, That's so many of them, and it really helps to dispel this the illusion that they're doing something, So that's the nice thing about meeting these more famous comedians, and then they treat me like garbage, because like this guy this weekend, dude, would not look at me when I first showed up. Hey, I'm Trey, I'll be filming. I can film if you'd like. And this guy was just like, oh yeah, okay, cool, right on. You get good audio? Do you have like good video? What kind of quality video? And I'm over here, and he's like, yeah, I was thinking, could you get the angle from kind of off to the side, and maybe if get the audio straight from the whatever. Dude, what? Hey, hello. That is such a big red flag, dude. If you want, and it's not. I'm not. It's not about autism. It's just about like, look, I get it. If someone's like socially awkward and doesn't get it, but like, even that case, even if they have like a debilitating or a condition that makes them feel very socially awkward, they'll still hit you with and then look down. They'll still hit you with that. They'll still like go up and then back down and do other stuff, but they'll at least check in. Even just once, just to see what you look like. But this person just could not, just looked anywhere but at me. It was the craziest shit, man. I'm like, yeah, but didn't you do that thing to that chick? So anyway, cool. Happy January, everybody, and hope you're well. Hope you're stick to your resolutions, and or don't, but try to. Yeah, stick to your resolutions, and let's all work on bettering ourselves. Yeah, I'd love for you guys to write in, tell me what you think I'm gonna get canceled for. That'll be fun, and not obviously getting canceled, but I want to hear what people think I would do. Watch it just be like some just horrific stuff. People are like, you know what, you would look like you would start a genocide. Yeah, getting real genocide vibes from you. You know what you look like? You look like you're trying to. You look like you'd get canceled for crossbreeding, mammals and amphibians or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's probably more sciencey, but anyway, go ahead and write in deadbeatsonpodcast@gmail.com. Check out the Instagram, stay up to date. Check out treylam.com. I've got a bunch of dates coming up, people. It's going to be fun. I'm doing, in a couple weeks, I'm going to be doing, I'll be in Austin. I'll be in Louisiana. So that's going to be great. And then come back doing some Idaho spots. If you're in the area, I'm headlining Wise Guys Comedy Club in Jordan Landing, February 3rd and 4th. Tickets to that at Wise Guys or treylam.com. You can go through there. And we'll see you there. We'll see you at the show. Come say hi. Go ahead. Don't don't hesitate to write in. And I actually just met a listener this weekend. Audrey, right? It's not Aubrey because I think that's Drake's name. Yeah, it is Aubrey. Sorry. Aubrey. I met Aubrey this weekend, and she came up to me and told me she listens every week. A big what up to you, Aubrey, and I really appreciate you introducing yourself and telling me that you like the pod. That's like so freaking encouraging, man. It's the best thing ever. I love it. So keeps me wanting to do it. obvious. That's like the biggest thing, So that'll do it today, folks. This is kind of a longer one, but appreciate you listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Take care.